2026 Mississippi DMV HazMat Endorsement Test 130 Questions and Complete Answers. Question 1. When making tight maneuvers, it is important for a driver to: Option A. Open the door for a better look. Option B. Use their mirrors. Option C. Flash their headlights. Option D. Open their cargo door. The correct answer is option B. Use their mirrors. Explanation: while regular mirror checks should always be part of your driving routine, you should make a particular point of checking the mirrors when changing lanes, turning, merging, or making tight maneuvers. Question 2. If your wheels begin to spin when accelerating on a poor traction surface, you should: Option A. Use the brakes. Option B. Take your foot off the accelerator. Option C. Continue to accelerate. The correct answer is option B. Take your foot off the accelerator. Explanation: if your drive wheels begin to spin while accelerating on a surface with poor traction, you should remove your foot from the accelerator. Question 3. Column 2 of the hazardous materials table contains: Option A. The names of the materials. Option B. Where the materials originated. Option C. Special provisions for the materials. Option D. The costs of the materials. The correct answer is option A. The names of the materials. Explanation: column 2 of the hazardous materials table lists the proper shipping names and descriptions of regulated materials. Question 4. If cargo containing hazardous materials is leaking but the driver does not have access to a phone, they should: Option A. Drive to a phone to alert emergency personnel. Option B. Drive to a designated hazardous materials cleanup facility. Option C. Send someone else for help. The correct answer is option C. Send someone else for help. Explanation: if a cargo of hazardous materials begins to leak, do not move your vehicle any more than safety requires. If you continue to drive, an even larger area will become contaminated. Instead, you should park your vehicle, secure it, stay with the vehicle, and contact the proper emergency personnel. If you do not have access to a phone, you should send someone else to get help. Question 5. There may be restrictions on the transportation of explosives or hazardous waste in certain areas. These restrictions: Option A. Are waived on the weekends. Option B. Are usually not a concern. Option C. Should be researched before taking a route. Option D. Only apply if transporting more than 1,000 pounds of a material. The correct answer is option C. Should be researched before taking a route. Explanation: before transporting hazardous materials, you should research any restrictions that may apply to the routes you plan to take. Question 6. If transporting explosives: Option A. You must have a written route plan. Option B. You should take the shortest possible route. Option C. You can always use tunnels. The correct answer is option A. You must have a written route plan. Explanation: if transporting Division 1.1, 1.2, or 1.3 explosives, you must follow a written route plan. Whenever placarded, avoid heavily populated areas, crowds, tunnels, narrow streets, and alleys. Be sure to research any restrictions that may apply to the routes you plan to take. Question 7. If you are unsure if there is enough space for your vehicle to safely pass under an upcoming bridge, you should: Option A. Increase your speed. Option B. Swerve as you pass under the bridge. Option C. Slow down. Option D. Drive on the shoulder. The correct answer is option C. Slow down. Explanation: if you are not confident that your vehicle will have enough room to safely pass under an overhead object, you should slow down and seek another route, if possible. Question 8. Because of tanks' high centers of gravity, drivers of tanks should: Option A. Take curves at the posted speed limit. Option B. Reduce their speed on curves. Option C. Drive on the shoulder whenever possible. Option D. Slam on their brakes. The correct answer is option B. Reduce their speed on curves. Explanation. Due to their high centers of gravity, tanks are especially prone to rollovers. When driving a tank vehicle, you should take curbs well below the posted speed limit. Question 9. If you're transporting explosives and your vehicle breaks down, you should notify other drivers. Option A, with flares. Option B, with reflective triangles. Option C, by standing on the roadway and waving your arms. The correct answer is option B, with reflective triangles. Explanation. If your vehicle breaks down while you are transporting explosives and you need to use warning signals, use reflective triangles or red electric lights. Never use burning signals, such as flares or fuses, when transporting explosives. Question 10. If a vehicle is equipped with power steering, the hoses should be checked. Option A, for leaks. Option B, for the proper amount of brake fluid. Option C, to ensure that they are connected to the battery. The correct answer is option A, for leaks. Explanation. When inspecting a vehicle that is equipped with power steering, check the hoses, pumps, and fluid level. In particular, you should look for leaks in the hoses. Question 11. What does a shipping paper describe? Option A, the materials being transported. Option B, how the materials will be transported. Option C, who should accept the materials being transported. The correct answer is option A, the materials being transported. Explanation. Among other information, shipping papers must include a description of the specific hazardous materials being transported. Question 12. If a vehicle has a vehicle inspection report from the previous driver, option A, the driver should not conduct a pre-trip inspection and rely on the report. Option B, the driver should take the vehicle to a mechanic. Option C, the driver should review the report. Option D, the driver should speak with the previous driver. The correct answer is option C, the driver should review the report. Explanation. As the first step of a vehicle inspection, you should review any inspection report left by the previous driver. Question 13. When approaching a railroad crossing, you should: option A, roll your window down to listen for a train. Option B, increase your speed to get across the tracks as quickly as possible. Option C, rely on traffic control signals. Option D, never try to outdrive an approaching train. The correct answer is option D. Never try to outdrive an approaching train. Explanation. Reduce your speed as you approach a railroad crossing. Remember that you will not necessarily be able to hear a train, and don't assume that signals will warn you of its approach. Never try to outdrive an approaching train at a railroad crossing. Question 14. To lower the risk of a rollover, you should: option A, load the cargo as far forward as possible. Option B, load the cargo as far back as possible. Option C, load the cargo as low as possible. Option D, stack the cargo as high as possible. The correct answer is option C, load the cargo as low as possible. Explanation. To lower the risk of a rollover, load your cargo as closely to the ground as possible. To further reduce this risk, take curbs and corners slowly. Question 15. Which of the following is not a sign of bad brakes? Option A, cracked drums. Option B, very thin pads. Option C, pads free of oil or grease. The correct answer is option C, pads free of oil or grease. Explanation. When inspecting your brakes, you should check for cracked drums, shoes or pads covered in oil, grease, or brake fluid, and shoes that are missing, broken, or worn dangerously thin. Question 16. If a shipping paper has both hazardous and non-hazardous materials, the hazardous materials should be: option A, highlighted in a contrasting color. Option B, circled by a pen or marker. Option C, written the same way as the non-hazardous materials. Option D, written in red ink. The correct answer is option A, highlighted in a contrasting color. Explanation. When a shipping paper includes both hazardous and non-hazardous materials, one acceptable method of identifying the hazardous items is to highlight them in a contrasting color. Question 17. When starting the engine as part of the pre-trip inspection, the driver should: Option A, listen for unusual noises. Option B, rev the engine. Option C, turn up the radio. Option D, turn on the heater. The correct answer is option A. Listen for unusual noises. Explanation. Check your engine during the pre-trip inspection. After starting the engine, you should listen for unusual noises. Question 18. Cargo tanks should never be completely full because: Option A, there needs to be room for the liquid to expand. Option B, regulations require 3 feet of clearance between the top of the liquid and the roof of the tank. Option C, the tank would be too heavy. The correct answer is option A. There needs to be room for the liquid to expand. Explanation. Liquids expand as they get warmer, and drivers must allow extra space in a tank to accommodate this expansion. Different liquids expand to different degrees, so drivers must be aware of the outage requirements of the specific load they are carrying. Question 19. To complete a uniform hazardous waste manifest, you must: Option A, sign by hand. Option B, sign, but only if you cross into another state. Option C, sign, but only if the weather was hazardous. Option D, have a witness sign. The correct answer is option A, sign by hand. Explanation. A uniform hazardous waste manifest must be signed by hand. The name and APA registration number of the shippers, carriers, and destination must also appear on the manifest. Question 20. When approaching a railroad crossing while transporting chlorine, Option A, you must stop before crossing the tracks. Option B, you must reduce your speed before crossing the tracks. Option C, you may proceed across the tracks without stopping if no warning lights are flashing. The correct answer is option A. You must stop before crossing the tracks. Explanation. If transporting any amount of chlorine, a driver must always stop at a railroad crossing 15 to 50 feet from the nearest track, regardless of the presence of a train. Question 21. When checking your tires as part of the pre-trip inspection, you should look at the: Option A, tire pressure. Option B, tire color. Option C, tire manufacturer. The correct answer is option A, tire pressure. Explanation. When checking your tires as part of a pre-trip inspection, it is important to verify that the tire pressure is neither too low nor too high. Question 22. How can a person check for a leak in hydraulic brakes? Option A, pump the brake pedal 3 times and hold the pedal for 5 seconds. If the pedal moves, there may be a problem. Option B, push the brake pedal down as far as possible and let go. If the brake pedal returns to its normal position, there may be a problem. Option C, push the brake pedal down as far as possible and let go. If the brake makes a squeak, there may be a problem. Option D, remove the rear wheel and listen for a noise when the brake pedal is depressed. The correct answer is option A. Pump the brake pedal 3 times and hold the pedal for 5 seconds. If the pedal moves, there may be a problem. Explanation. Check hydraulic brakes by pumping the brake pedal 3 times before applying firm pressure to the pedal for 5 seconds. The pedal should not move. If it does, there may be a leak or some other problem in the braking system. Question 23. Proper coupling technique. Option A is the same on all vehicles. Option B is essential to the safe operation of a vehicle. Option C includes ensuring that the 5th wheel plate is not greased. Option D can be learned over time. The correct answer is option B, is essential to the safe operation of a vehicle. Explanation. Knowing proper coupling and uncoupling technique is fundamental to the safe operation of combination vehicles. Improper coupling can be very dangerous. Question 24. Backing with a trailer is dangerous because Option A. It is difficult to see behind the vehicle. Option B. Most trucks do not have the ability to move in reverse. Option C. Cargo may fall out of the trailer. The correct answer is option A. It is difficult to see behind the vehicle. Explanation. Backing a truck is always dangerous because the driver may not be able to see everything behind them. CMV operators should avoid backing whenever possible. Question 25. When traveling with Division 1.1, 1.2, or 1.3 explosives, the vehicle should not be Option A. Parked within 300 feet of a bridge. Option B. Parked within 40 feet of the road. Option C. Parked for only short periods of time. Option D. Parked on grass. The correct answer is option A. Parked within 300 feet of a bridge. Explanation. Except when parking briefly to perform necessary functions for vehicle operation such as refueling, never park a vehicle carrying Division 1.1, 1.2, or 1.3 explosives within 300 feet of a bridge, tunnel, or building. Never park such a vehicle within 5 feet of the traveled portion of a road. Such vehicles should be parked only briefly. Question 26. To avoid a hazard. Option A. You should always steer to the left. Option B. You may be able to drive onto the shoulder. Option C. You should steer sharply in one direction. The correct answer is option B. You may be able to drive onto the shoulder. Explanation. In some emergencies, the best strategy for avoiding a hazard may be to drive onto the shoulder. Most shoulders are strong enough to support the weight of a large vehicle. Question 27. How do ice cream trucks become hazardous to other drivers? Option A. Ice cream trucks must be kept cold. Option B. Children often run toward an ice cream truck without looking for other traffic. Option C. Ice cream trucks leave trails of water and ice on the roadway. The correct answer is option B. Children often run toward an ice cream truck without looking for other traffic. Explanation. Ice cream trucks can create hazardous conditions for other drivers because they attract children. Children often do not notice or pay attention to other vehicles on the roadway when running to or from ice cream trucks. Question 28. A shipping paper, option A, is not needed for most shipments of hazardous materials. Option B is required for all shipments of hazardous materials. Option C can be kept in a digital file. The correct answer is option B, is required for all shipments of hazardous materials. Explanation. Shippers of hazardous materials are required to provide proper shipping papers to communicate the risks of the materials. Question 29. When checking tires, finding which of the following is not a cause for concern. Option A, too much air pressure. Option B, too little air pressure. Option C, radial and bias ply tires used together. Option D, tread of at least 2/32 an inch on rear tires. The correct answer is option D, tread of at least 2/32 an inch on rear tires. Explanation. When checking your vehicle's tires, you should confirm that air pressure is neither too low nor too high, that there is at least 4/32 of an inch of tread depth in every major groove on the front tires, that there is at least 2/32 of an inch of tread depth in grooves on other tires, and that radial and bias ply tires are not used together. Question 30. In an empty combination vehicle, the stiff suspension springs and strong brakes will have Option A, high traction. Option B, low traction. Option C, no traction. The correct answer is option B, low traction. Explanation. An empty combination vehicle will come to a complete stop more slowly than a fully loaded vehicle. With less weight in a trailer, the stiff suspension springs and strong brakes will have lower traction than they would if the vehicle carried more weight.